Oh, he said right from the beginning. Oh, so it's been frozen, but you can hear everything.
That is weird. Oh damn it! Stream's over.
Yeah, it's been done. That's what I was saying. It's been done on mine for maybe about a minute.
What the hell, dude? I've actually, I'm seeing another one on in studio. Oh,
Another one?
UFC Vegas 45 recap. I don't know what's going on, bro. Sorry, y'all. I got YouTube problems.
Wait,
Freaking
that one is streaming?
dude, studio is very, 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 very jank sometimes. Yeah, because I guess it decided to grab the title that I had previously. So give me a second. I'm gonna try to fix this. I'll just change the title. So we're live again.
Oh,
It's just got a different
well,
title now, which I am going to fix in a second.
and our very important thumbnail.
Ugh. Oh, damn it. I don't have it here.
F.
F indeed.
I don't see anything live on this side. Let me check my other.
Hey, can you send me the thumb that I sent in over Hangouts? Just
You
grab it.
sent it over Hangouts?
No, grab it from Signal and send it to me in Hangouts.
Okay. Like you
But
want the with the Twitter link, right?
no, just the one that I sent. The actual
Oh, okay.
thumb.
Hold on. Let me find it. Where is? There we go. This share Hangouts. Boom, boom, boom.
Video is frozen, you clowns.
That's me. Okay, I sent it.
Oh my god.
But I don't see anything live right now. You saying it took the other one?
Sorry, dude. Give me a second here, man.
Okay, I sent it to you. It's in your hangout.
Yep, I got it. Yeah, I'm live on Studio. And I'm seeing a live thing.
I went on our YouTube channel. I don't see anything.
I'll confirm in a second, dude. Visibility private. Okay, I see why. Man, that is some bull. You need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is 3840 by 2860, which is not supported for this configuration.
Doesn't it like default to 720?
It should. Well, 1080 is what it should go down to.
I thought Zoom doesn't even support 1080.
Zoom. This is multi-thing, dude, because we're not streaming from Zoom. We're streaming from my
Oh,
computer.
OBS. Yeah.
Yeah, so the video capture software is grabbing and then pushing it out. So, all right, I'm gonna push this live privacy, edit, visibility, public, done. Before I hit that. All right, you should see it come up now.
Let me refresh. Let's see anything. Oh, yep, I see it. Just open it up. Yep, yeah, it's live.
So, sorry guys, that was my bad. Something's going on with OBS. Freaked the hell out. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. So I'll keep an eye on the thing, and we'll see what happens.
But should we continue where we were? We start from the beginning?
We can just continue, because they're both going to be up.
Okay. Yeah, so again, to maybe continue from where we were, not obviously not the path to victory you're initially expecting from Francis, but given the injuries, makes sense. Now, on Cyrille's side, you were saying before we cut off that he's looked more Gane in the second round. I thought he looked like himself in the first two, where again you have like that, you have the mobile guys moving around. He's kind of coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. It's not just an onslaught that you might sometimes see. He's not that guy. Insert that that video clip of that guy in the store saying you're not that guy, pal. He's never been that. At least in the UFC, we haven't seen him. When he has his moment, he'll capitalize, but he's not like actively forcing that. So the measured approach that we were saying before we cut didn't surprise me. And again, given that they had some history with each other, and we saw Francis approach Stipe like that, I wasn't surprised by it. Well, but overall, how were you feeling about it?
Overall, I was really impressed with Francis, man. I don't think anybody expected what we got. We kind of knew that he could do the ground stuff, but not to the extent that he was doing it. And I was kind of, well, first of all, let me say those 2 takedowns in the third were ridiculous. Ridiculous, dude.
Those weren't takedowns. Those were shark attacks.
Whatever you want to call them, man. Like my eyes did not pop open. Like they couldn't be any more open if you like force them open, freaking Clockwork Orange style, dude. That was nuts. And then he just kept doing it. He kept doing it. I wish he was able to do more on the ground. Maybe I don't know, maybe instead of controlling Gane's wrist, like trying to go for some other stuff, like even like a ground and pound, because there were moments there where I thought that, okay, he can get top control really. He's got top control. He can get mount really easy. He just had to move his right leg over, or slide over to the side a little bit and shuffle over, and he didn't do any of that. But I can't speak to how difficult it was keeping Gane on the ground. I'm sure that wasn't easy. And the guy was tired as well, so there's that to be said for it.
I think he was mentioning, because do you remember, I forget which round it was, third or fourth round, I think Cirille was on top, and then it was brief. I think it was a takedown for Cirille, or they ended up on the ground. Cirille was on top, and then Francis flipped him over. Well, not flipped him over, but he flipped the script, so he went from on the bottom to on top. And I think they were asking that to Francis, like what exactly happened there, how you did it. And he said his leg was actually uncomfortable in that position. So I think maybe what you're saying you would have liked to have seen maybe didn't happen. Partly, maybe it's a comfort level too. He's obviously, that's not his specialty, but he's clearly been working on it. But also maybe certain positions he was feeling more of a strain on. I don't know if it's just one knee or if it's both knees, but that could have been a part of it too. So our chat's asking over under 200K pay-per-view sales on 270. I don't think it did that low. I would say probably over.
I mean, I think it definitely went over. There's no question about it.
Because you can't attribute it to how it was going during it.
What do you mean?
Like, are you saying it because it was such a good event that you
sure think it went over? No, because if you flash back to our
because previews, of Mexico?
Yeah, dude.
No, that's what you said, courtesy of Mexico.
Did you not hear the freaking stadium when Moreno came out?
I honestly couldn't hear it that well.
It was insane. It was louder than when freaking McGregor came out that first fight against
was it really?
Dustin. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I told you this was gonna happen, which was I'm like, why wouldn't this be the main event? Like, I get it. Gane and Ngannou are heavyweights, and that's like the.
I don't think a flyweight's ever been a headline. Well, I shouldn't say ever, but in the current structure, again, Moreno's your best bet at this point to headline.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But... He could have. him and Figueiredo could have carried this entire event just off of the momentum of Brazil and Mexico.
Well, we'll
So there you
discuss
go.
that fight too. To kind of go back to these big boys, I think I don't really have much more to add on the fight itself. I thought it was very, very impressive.
Man,
I
it
would
was
love
nuts.
to
Yeah.
obviously see Francis back in the UFC, but it seems like they're at a stalemate at this point. Again, factor in I don't know why Dana disappeared, why he didn't put the belt around Francis, why he wasn't there during the press conference. I'm sure someone's going to ask him at some point, and I'm sure he's. I'd like him to tell the truth, but who knows what he's actually going to say.
He was in Abu Dhabi getting that oil money, dude. Like, we already know the answer.
Let me ask you something. Do you think this victory changes anything for Francis and his camp in terms of leverage in negotiations?
Yeah.
Or do you think regardless of outcome, nothing was going to change on either party's side?
No, I think that this does put him in a more favorable position.
So you think the UFC might keep him after this?
Well, he's got that, like you were saying, he's got that fighter thing now, right? The champion.
Which I believe,
fight.
Just to clarify that too, they asked him about that after. One of the reporters asked, so does this, he's like, so the way your current contract is, you're still under contract technically with the UFC through 2022, and then the start of 2023 is like, so you're a free agent, and Francis, I believe, said yes. So yes, technically still under contract because he was the incumbent champion and he won, but after a year, he's no longer under contract.
Well, so that's kind of weird then, because if that coincides with surgery and recovery time and all that,
does.
Yeah, that'll put him past that point.
Yeah.
But then, so in my mind, then the question is, well, how do you basically deny the guy now that he's shown that he's a sort of more well-rounded MMA fighter than you would have expected? Because like, if he had just been boxing, let's say, that's one thing. You could be like, all right, dude, you're done, get out of here. But he didn't just box. He started showing like, no, dude, I'm an MMA fighter. Like, I want to still be here. I can do all the MMA things that the other guys are doing. Now, whether or not that means he's going to get the money that he's asking for, which really is what it boils down to at the end of the day, is he going to get the money that he's asking for? So I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. That I don't know how much of it is a big gap in pay ask versus willingness to pay, and how much is the issue of loaning him out to boxing. I'm curious which one is the bigger hurdle to be cleared right now, because it's not just a pay matter for Francis. He's said this several times. Obviously, he wants more pay, and frankly, he deserves it. But it's not only that. He wants to box, and you have to wonder, is his age part of the reason UFC's maybe not budging on that? I don't know where their stance is on the boxing thing. But like we just said, he's going to turn, 37 this year? Not exactly spry chicken, kind of like how Conor was at the time. So I don't know. What the issue
He even kind of said something along those lines when he was talking to Rogan in the ring, right? He's like, what did he say? Oh my god. He alluded to it though, you know what I mean? Like, because Joe asked him the boxing question, and he did allude to his age and like how he doesn't have all the time in the world. So
yeah,
I don't know what that means. Legit, the only person that we know of that's done the boxing thing while being in the UFC was Conor, right? So I don't know. I don't get what Dana's issue with it would be, especially because there's precedent. You had another champ do this, or was Conor even champion at the time?
Well, he wasn't because of inactivity, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, I don't know what the issue would be. Like, I get it, you're not going to want to let every single person do it, but if it's a champion or a former champion, that person's kind of, I feel like maybe they've put in their dues, you know what I mean? Like, they out of anybody, they should have the ability to be able to do that.
I'd like to hear what the UFC side of the argument is in terms of why not to loan him. Maybe I wonder if it's at that point, if it's a matter of like what cut they get of Francis's purse for loaning him out. If there's any issues, because I know like Dana has some tenuous relationships with one of the big boxing promoters. So I don't know. I don't know what that hurdle is there. I mean, honestly, I personally don't give a shit if he boxes or not. I don't.
I honestly don't like boxing. and that's
Yeah, I don't
putting it
either. So,
lightly. I
but
do not like that sport, dude.
I'd obviously like to see Francis back, but I don't know. Again, I think yeah, in terms of my initial question about the leverage situation, I still think what we were saying in our previews is still kind of stands in that the UFC is fine with or without Francis. So if it's money that's the problem, then I don't know. Again, and the other thing to factor now is what was I gonna say? I think it was about the injury, or what was it? Oh, so he's hurt, right? So if he even stays with the UFC, I think if you're inactive for a year as a champion, I think you either can be stripped or you will be stripped of your title. So if he actually stays with the UFC, he might not even have the title possibly if the fight goes on too long. I'm not sure. That might not be that important. The thing, obviously, the first hurdle is to actually see if he stays or not. I honestly get the impression it's probably not going to happen. I'm thinking that might have been the last time we see Francis. I'd like that to not be the case, but I just wasn't getting that good of an impression. I was unclear entering this fight, and then post fight with a pretty what appeared to be kind of like childish action from Dana and not being there for the press conference and then not putting the belt around him. I don't remember ever seeing him do that or
Oh,
not
so
do that.
maybe you're saying that that was kind of like a
Pissed
low
off.
key, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Well,
Why
especially,
else?
you know what? Yeah, because especially you're setting like your third in charge or whatever. It's not even Shelby, so like, yeah, maybe you're right, dude. Maybe it was like a kind of low key, just like, yeah, all
Chat's
right.
asking, will we ever see another Ngannou KO? Maybe in boxing. I don't know if we'll see it in the UFC. I think if his contract expires, then he's not true champ anymore. No, if his contract expires, I would imagine it would be similar to how it was for Cejudo when he retires, or any fighter when they retire. Fight the belt becomes vacant, and then they just assign two of the top contenders, I suppose, to fight for it. And you
Which,
wonder at that point if John Jones just slithers in and fights for the belt.
oh my god, dude, the moment he's been waiting for. Are you kidding me? Sneaky bastard. Well, so that brings up an interesting point though, because Gon is obviously still number one contender. But then
I don't know. What about Stipe?
I, I don't know, man. I don't
I
know,
think the last performance left a sour taste in your mouth.
because it was bad, dude. But then again, it's like, well, if Gon's gone, or sorry,
That's
not gone. Sorry,
that's jazzing over Aspinall.
if oh god, if Ngannou is gone, that changes the dynamic of the entire heavyweight division. I think. So it kind of resets back to the Stipe era, in a sense. So, I don't know. Now that's a good point, dude. Because yeah, if Ngannou's gone, their names are driving me bananas. Then yeah, like maybe you do see Stipe suddenly shoot up and grab the belt. It's possible, dude. He could, he's
Stipe
not.
is also on the older side, but physically he looked pretty good. And I think it was like one of the leanest he had ever been.
Yeah, I mean,
He
Teixeira's
came in
on
at
the
like
older side too,
225 or
man. But
230, something like that, entering that Francis fight, which maybe didn't really work out for him. But physically he looked pretty good.
so I'm just saying, like that's a good point. Yeah, that kind of throws things off a bit, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. Do you have any last tidbits on these guys so we kind of get going with the other fights on here?
No, not necessarily on these guys. Just since we were just talking about it towards the end there, it is kind of making me think now. Like, if John Jones ever decides to fight again, that would be even more interesting for the division. Uh, and even if he doesn't, you do have up and comers like Aspinall, like Tai Tuivasa, and if Tai Tuivasa goes on to beat freaking Tarek Lewis, well, oh my god, dude, what does that
Yeah,
do? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, so I don't know. I'm actually getting a little bit more excited now that I'm talking about this out loud.
You would imagine. Then again, John Jones, you don't know what the hell that guy does, like what his thought process is. But he's apparently starting his own gym now. So you would imagine if you're gonna go through that process, why the hell go through all that and then not make a return? I mean, he was tweeting some stuff during the fight. Then he said, "Oh, maybe I'll just enjoy retirement." I mean, a guy I think needs to be treated for like bipolar disorder among other things. Um, Chad says now it's Stipe versus Ngannou 3 is more interesting. Stipe won't have ground advantage anymore. Honestly, I thought during the second fight we saw he didn't have that ground advantage anymore when Francis was swirling around him like a freaking tarantula.
Yeah, it's the weight, dude.
Yeah,
Even DC has some great takes sometimes because he pointed out. He said Francis's base is too heavy, and that's the problem you're gonna have if you're trying to grapple with Francis Ngannou. He is just too heavy when he's got his legs firmly planted there, spread on the floor. You're not moving the guy. You know, look how much trouble Cirly Gane had. I doubt. Well, I don't know. Maybe a big guy can do it. I was gonna say maybe a bigger guy can actually do it. Like if, but then I don't.
Bigger than who? Bigger than Francis?
I meant more rotund person. You know, because you wouldn't. Guy? Yeah.
I don't know. Last thing on this one, John chat saying John Jones versus his wife UFC 300. I don't know if she's gonna make it till UFC 300. I'll be honest. Hopefully she does. All right, co-main. Tijuana's, as John Anik likes to say, Tijuana's champion Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Okay, before we say anything else, how did you have the card? How did you have the fight scored? Because you and our other friends in the group chat were asking me, well, how did you score? Because I didn't say anything. I was like, oh, we'll just talk about it on the live stream. And then you guys were like, what the hell? So how did you have it scored?
I gotta be honest. I don't know how I would have had it scored. I do know for sure Moreno took 3 rounds. So for me, here's what my question is: did Moreno take 3 rounds or did he take 4 rounds? Because I felt like he took 3 for sure. You know, taking 2 more, that is a little questionable for me. Because the one round I know for sure that he didn't take is the one where this freaking asshole pushed him. Remember that part? Yeah, that one he got a little bit spanked in.
I think that was round 3. I want to say
it was 3, and then I think maybe in round 2 he didn't look too good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say because the first was very close, I think. So maybe that's the one that got wishy-washy. I haven't looked at the scorecards either, so I don't know what they.
Do we have the scorecards pulled up there?
Yeah, they're on the other tab. I don't know if I want to go over there now or.
Okay, so
well, what did you have to score? Why don't you tell me?
So I thought that through the first 3, I thought it was completely up in the air. Each round, I was thinking, I'm like, I don't know how the hell he scored this because pretty much every round. So the first round, this was the one part that kind of made it a little weird. The first half of the first round was just a wash because both guys were pretty much against the fence for almost the entire duration of the first half of that first round, to an extent, to the point where I was getting surprised Jason Herzog wasn't stepping in, because you see it, right? Sometimes they're both guys are against the fence and they're kind of doing something. There's some elbows being thrown, a knee's getting thrown in there every few seconds to kind of nullify the hey, do something thought. Because okay, fine, they threw a knee, they threw another. They weren't doing anything against the fence for that first 2.5 minutes. So I was thinking, I kept saying, I'm like, why doesn't he just split these guys up, get them back in the middle, and let's get the show rolling? But they left it. They were there for 2.5 minutes. Ultimately, I think Moreno got Figueiredo off. I don't remember. So I kind of throw away that first 2.5 minutes. And then the last 2.5 minutes was pretty close for the first round. So I was like, I don't know who the hell won that round. Second round is kind of similar. It was kind of close to me. That round ended. I was like, I don't know who the hell won that round either. I think I was leaning maybe towards Moreno because I think I had it. I was like, I guess you could maybe say 19-19 going into the third. But then I was also thinking maybe they have it 20-18 for Moreno. Third round is the round I think we just discussed. That one I had for Figueiredo. And then I think maybe 4th and 5th, I was thinking, okay, maybe these went for Figueiredo. But going into the announcement of who won, I was thinking they were going to have Moreno. Again, not with like 100% confidence by any means. But I think you said it, Pusto was saying it, and I think you guys were saying, like, reading around, everyone was saying this was robbery. I think you said some of the analysts are saying this was robbery. I didn't feel it was a robbery because I felt it was pretty close. I think you could sway me one way or the other on who won the fight, but I didn't think it was like a, dude, what the hell? How the hell did you guys give it to Deiveson? I was looking at some of the numbers after the fact because I was like, dude, maybe because I feel after everything you guys were saying, I didn't see any other commentary, but based on what you guys were saying, I was like, oh, did I just like kind of was I not fully focused or something? Did I miss it? I look at the round by round numbers. So looking at the round by round numbers, it's 4-1 in favor of Moreno in terms of strikes.
No. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing, guys.
You won't see it here yet. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know.
So the round by round it was 4-1 in favor of. So here's round one. This one's in favor of Figueiredo, 10-15 significant strikes.
Yeah, but again, this isn't showing the full picture. There's no control.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you look at just the significant strikes, it's actually 4-1 in favor of Moreno. If I'm not mistaken. So let's just quickly breeze through it. This is 2018-19 Moreno. If we go to round 3, 26-19 Moreno. We go to round 4, 2015 Moreno, and round 5, 21-18 Moreno. So I agree. Can't completely base it off this, not just in this fight, but in general. Now you wonder how much did the knockdowns weigh in the individual rounds?
I
understand that.
But okay, sorry. I wanna stop you real quick because you're gonna bring up a point, but you're right. Bisping even mentioned this, where the judges will take that into consideration, even though they shouldn't. And he specifically alluded to how in boxing, if somebody gets knocked down, that's huge. It's a round winning thing. Whereas in MMA, it's not a round winning thing. But he's like, these guys they're human, they're emotional, you see something like that, and it's gonna make you think like, oh well, that guy probably took that round, or if you're an even more inexperienced judge, you haven't done much UFC or MMA rather, you may not really fully comprehend that. Wait, no, that doesn't mean that that dude lost that round or this dude won that round. I personally don't think a knockdown guarantees you a round. I think that's ridiculous to basically negate 4 minutes and 59 seconds of fighting just because he got knocked down. So what? Did he leave the round?
We discussed this with the Rob Font and Jose Aldo fight. It was, what was it, round 1 or something? One of the rounds, Jose Aldo, I think, knocked down Rob Font, but that was all he did that round. It was either Rob Font or Jose Aldo. So I understand it.
It would
also be fair in this situation, it wasn't. He only got that knockdown landed and he didn't do shit the rest of the round.
Yeah, but
sometimes I think when it's close or up in the air, a debatable round, I think that's when they're watching the fight. They're like, crap, man, this one's a close one. And then to close out the round or near the end of the round, a guy gets knocked down. You're like, oh shit, man, I think that one pulled it away for me because I was kind of not sure where we were going with this round, and then this guy just got flatlined. I think I'm gonna give him.
Yeah, I get the logic. I can't stand it, dude. Because to give you a perfect analogy, it's like if somebody almost got an armbar, and you're like, oh, that he got the round. He almost got an armbar in. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they sometimes do that too.
That's dumb. It's beyond dumb.
I think they sometimes do it too. Like I said, you could. That's a fight that I'd want to rewatch just to. One, it was a great fight. Two, just to see what nuggets I missed. Because again, when you watch it at like a bar or something, which is where I was watching, and I was right in the front, so it's not like I was like getting distracted. But the guy next to me was like, we were doing like freaking commentary the whole time the fight was going on too. So I may have missed some stuff, some details here and there. But from what I'm remembering, and in the moment, I remember distinctly saying, I'm like, I think this was a very close fight. I think they're going to give it to Moreno. And then when I was waiting for Bruce to say still or new, and he said new, I was like, wow, I'm a little bit surprised, but not like I wasn't feeling robbery. But it seems like you and some of the other guys in our chat were thinking, dude, what the hell? That was the wrong call completely. Which I wasn't a part of that camp.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, it's interesting because you didn't watch the post whatever the hell they call it when they
the post fight show.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that.
The only person on the panel that pretty much didn't say it was robbery was Anik, which was interesting, but he was acting kind of like, how do I put it, like political, I guess. Like he is. Yeah, he didn't want to outright come and say it, but like
he never does.
Yeah, but Smith and Bisping were just straight up like, that shouldn't have gone that way. And then on the other side, I forgot the guy's name, the ESPN analyst dude.
Was it the black guy?
Yeah.
I don't know who was the thing. Michael Eaves?
Yeah, I think that might be
Yeah.
whatever. He's not a UFC guy. I know he's
Yeah,
part
it's
of the
Michael
UFC.
Leaves then.
Yeah, so and he was kind of alluding to it. So I mean, I'm gonna guess that most fighters are probably gonna think that too. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Dude, you even heard it in DC and Joe's voices. Like you heard them
I
kind
also
of
I
in.
couldn't hear. I couldn't hear the commentary,
Ah, that's right. You keep mentioning that, and I keep
which
forgetting.
sucked. It really sucked. Um, so look, decision wise, all right. We kind of touched on the decision. You felt one way. I thought it was closer than the robbery insinuation. But I do want to touch on one thing, regardless of whatever we feel about who won, who lost. Do you agree with this? The adjustments from not just the second fight to the third fight, but even from the first fight to the third fight for Deiveson Figueiredo were excellent. I thought this was a very improved and impressive looking Figueiredo. This was arguably my like favorite version of him that I've seen because it was like a calculated killer versus the guy that just kind of goes out there, stalks his prey, kind of sometimes haphazardly, and then tries to put him to sleep, but then gets caught. I thought he was much more patient, much more calculated. We're obviously talking about it. I think during our preview, we were saying, regardless of outcome, maybe this should be the last time he fights at flyweight. Dude, he looked good. Weight looked good. He came in a pound under championship weight. Cardio looked good. When the fight was done, he looked fine to me. So I take back what I said. However, he prepped physically, not just the training, but nutritionally. They were showing some of the stuff he was doing during embedded, like some of the cryotherapy kind of stuff, whatever plan he put in place for this camp looked like it paid off dividends. He looked very good physically. So I take back what I said about him considering leaving the flyweight division. I think he can maybe go between the two, but I think if he continues doing how he did there with the nutritional aspect, he looked great at 125 this fight. Maybe the best physically that we've seen him.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hear me argue that. I definitely think that we saw a sharper Figueiredo. I think that, although it was interesting because he was definitely trying to goad Brandon into just trading with him. Like you could see it. Like there were moments where he would kind of do like this and like
yeah.
He was trying to goad him into it. So and you couldn't hear it, but we could hear it back home. You could hear his coaches basically screaming to him like, "Stop doing that."
Oh, really? They were saying it.
Okay. They didn't want him to engage with that, but he was trying to get Brandon to go, and Brandon didn't really bite. Well, Brandon did bite in some of the earlier rounds, and then he kind of like he leveled off, and he was like, no, let me back off a bit. So Figueiredo was trying to goad him into a trading match. But yeah, like I think it's not necessarily because Figueiredo was being calm, cool, and collected so much as Brandon was like, I'm not gonna play that game. So it did. That's why that didn't happen.
But we didn't see him kind of. I was gonna say the word in Armenian. He didn't like pounce on him. Figueiredo being like We've seen that, right? Where sometimes he'll just freaking go all out, blows out his gas tank, and then come to later rounds, he's got nothing left. Also, I think we waited too long to also mention this. Those leg kicks from Figueiredo. How about the freaking leg kicks, man? He just kept working and working that leg. It was, I think, do you remember the camera work between one of the rounds? I forget which one. The camera guy was on like the left side of the screen for us.
Yeah.
Was trying to get that leg getting ice, and then he shifted over to the right. I don't remember ever seeing so much emphasis being put on the leg for getting a bag of ice treated on it. I was cracking up watching it. I was like,
the last time
guys like trying to get some like OnlyFans foot action over here.
The last time I saw so much camera work on a leg was when Connor had his snapped in half, man.
I was cracking up. I was like, dude, let's chill.
This graphic doesn't really.
See what the audio work is on that.
Yeah. This graphic doesn't really do it justice, but as you can see, 27 significant strikes to the leg. I mean, actually, this is kind of impressive. I didn't see Moreno throw that many leg kicks, but there you go.
So look, if significant strikes here, it's actually the significant strikes end up even because I'm so 71 and 60, 16 and 27.
It's not
that
quite,
washes to 0.
It's not quite so even, but it's close enough.
The number doesn't add up there. It says 105 to 86, but if you look at that body breakdown, the negates 1 in favor of Figueiredo. Am I doing my math wrong? Can you go down for a second? So
It
I'm not
could.
going to spend too much time on it, but I'm very confused. Go all the way
Jesus,
down to the
man.
body one. Yeah, right here. Look, look. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
A little bit. Right there. So look.
What am I doing? Hold on. This?
No, no, no. Go down to the body picture. Yeah. Where'd it go?
Oh, because you kept
There
saying
you
go down, so I was going down.
sorry.
No, it was further
Oh,
up.
that says 40. I thought I was seeing a 6. I was like, how the hell are they getting to that number? Okay, I thought it says 71 to 60.
This freaking
Okay,
guy,
that makes
man.
no sense.
You're throwing off my flow.
Yeah. But again, I think it seems like the move to Scottsdale for Figueiredo paid off well. I thought, again, he looked very good. So obviously this then begs the question about a fourth fight, which during the preview we were saying we thought the trilogy wasn't justified on the basis of merit, based on how dominant really the second fight was in favor of Moreno. But at the same time, so if Moreno was that dominant and you granted a trilogy fight to Figueiredo, arguably undeservedly, you have to give the fourth fight at this point, because it's not just that it's 1-1-1, but you have to. It's like, again, like I said, if you gave a third off of a pretty dominant showing for Moreno, but you granted a third for Figueiredo, then a much closer fight in the third one where Moreno loses, you have to give a fourth one. There shouldn't be any fight in between for either guys. If you need to take a year off for them or whatever, for whatever reason, then you take the year off. Neither guy should be fighting anyone else, barring some kind of injury where it's like an extended layoff. But otherwise, there should be nothing else happening there, because on the basis of merit and frankly, just to an extent, fairness, and I'm not always, it always has to be fair, but that's just, you'd be doing Moreno dirty at this point if you make him fight someone else to kind of like build his way back. That would be, I think, very uncalled for. So I think a fourth fight for the first time in UFC history should be happening.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I didn't want this to be a three-parter to begin with, a trilogy.
I'm glad it happened though. That was a hell of a fight.
Well, we knew that it would be. That was never in question. The question was just more like, why? Why are you doing this? And the only answer that I had come up with was pay-per-view money, pay-per-view sales, because this I guarantee you, the numbers come out, this will be huge.
I actually don't agree.
You don't? Okay, we'll see.
They were saying, I saw a report just before 270 started that 269 reportedly did a little over 500,000 sales. 269 being, what was that? Oliveira and, I was going to say Gaethje. Oliveira and Poirier. I don't know if this would have done better numbers than that. Possibly, because you had the heavyweights, possibly. But I hope to see some kind of reported figures. But until then, it's just speculation. So you may be right, but I don't know.
I'm putting a lot of stock. I'm putting a lot of stock in the
Mexico, Brazil.
Mexico and Brazil, yeah. Well, and the United States, dude. You forget, like, it's not just Mexico and Brazil.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what I was saying was, what was I saying? Yeah. So for me, the fight was more along the lines of, probably a money fight, at least for the UFC. So if there is a fight for, which there should be, for the simple fact that, I don't think this should have gone the way it did, the decision. I think Moreno should have taken that. And then B, if you don't give it to Moreno, if you don't give Moreno a rematch, well then what then? Like that you just basically completely threw that division into chaos again. And then and we'll see. And now I'm talking about this. Anik was actually saying that, and the guys were just speculating, but the fact that you would even speculate on it, right? I'm like, this is immediately after the fight. He was saying that Moreno could fight Askarov or Pantoja, and then Smith was saying Royval could be a potential fighter in a matchup with Moreno.
Like next?
Yeah. And well, that was my reaction too. I'm thinking, like, how are you guys even talking about this right now? Like,
Royval after that dog shit performance. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, like, I understand you guys are fighters. You obviously have a level of acumen that no one else has because of the experience you share in the octagon. But some of the takes, I'm like, dude, how accelerated is your CTE? That's your freaking take. They asked, actually, in the interview after the fights, they were asking Deiveson, because I was able to hear the post-octagon interview with Deiveson. I thought I heard him say rematch, and then I think they asked him to clarify it during the post-fight interview outside of the octagon. And because I think he said he was down to do it in Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
And then jokingly he said, maybe not Mexico, because he's like, if Henry Cejudo's coming with us, I'm not sure if we're gonna come back from Mexico if Henry Cejudo comes to Mexico. So he said maybe we do it in Brazil. He was kind of joking about it. And then I think they asked like, if not Brandon, like who are you down for? He said I'm down for Kai Kara France, which if he wins, for whatever reason, if Moreno is into the guy for whatever reason, I think if sorry, not Oscar, if Kai Kara France beats Oscar, I think that would be the next guy. Just because to me that was looking like the number one contender fight if Figueiredo lost. But now that Figueiredo won, I think you have to have the rematch, and then I guess the winner of Oskarov and Kai Kara France waits. But that's the other thing. When you have these rematches, it kind of puts the division in limbo. Because when you have like a number one contender fight, so Oskarov and Kai Kara France fight, right? Whoever wins, wins. And then what? They're supposed to just kind of sit on their hands and wait for number 4 to happen. By the time number 4 happens, and then the recovery from number 4 for the next fight, for the whoever wins that fight, it kind of puts the it's murky again. So it's not a job that's ideal at times with this matchmaking situation, because now you got to figure out how the hell do we keep this division kind of moving in that top tier.
Yeah, but that was completely like I agree with you, but that was completely on the UFC. Why did you schedule this one? Yeah, why did you do this? You're the ones who literally screwed up your entire matchmaking schedule. Like, the thought, I'm sure, crossed somebody's mind of like, well, wait, what if Moreno loses? You know, like, maybe they don't think about that. I have no idea, dude. Maybe they just like they throw darts at the freaking at the wall and see what it hits. Like, do I think what?
Do you think the UFC like Dana was pulling for Moreno to get the W? I'm inclined to say yes. While you ponder it, I'm inclined to say yes. I think he's more marketable. Also, it helps that he actually speaks English. It's not to take a dig at Deiveson, but like even like Jose Aldo, for example, the guy's been fighting for freaking how long in the U.S. and the guy still doesn't speak a lick of English. Imagine if Jose Aldo spoke English. He's so highly revered as a UFC fighter, but you can't market him because the guy doesn't speak a damn word of English. So same thing with Deiveson. Brandon speaks English, very likable. I thought he made a very good point. They were asking him something about like, why do you feel people connect with you? Why do you think you're so liked? Not just amongst the Mexican community, but just in general. Why do people like you? And I thought his answer was so accurate. He was like, I think I'm more relatable. He's like, and the example he brought for that was fantastic. He's like, you look at guys like Khabib, who was incredible, right? But 29-0, like realistically, like who the hell is a guy? What person doesn't go through some kind of struggle, some kind of defeat or something at some point? Whereas you look at me, I became champion, but I was cut from the UFC. I had to work my way back. I went to LFA, then I came back, worked my way through, got a championship. Now I lost again. He's like, I felt like my journey in that regard was more relatable, and he seems just more like there's no persona behind him, right, at all. Like he's like a goofy kind of guy. I mean, assassin baby, and it's very appropriate. Assassin because he is one, and then baby because he's like a child sometimes in how he behaves, right? He's even like a smaller framed guy, goofy, funny, silly. So I think he hit the nail on the head there. So for that reason, given that marketability, I think the UFC would have pulled for him. And then again, imagine had he won, the next time he's fighting, it's in UFC Mexico. It's UFC Mexico for sure. As long as they get like the COVID stuff situated, that's what it would have been. And that he headlines. That one is when doesn't matter. It's if there's another title fight on there, that is the headline event for sure. But now that he lost, you kind of wonder. Probably the UFC didn't want that.
So I've pondered. I think that yeah, UFC was probably pulling for Brandon. Well, you didn't mention this either, but there's also the fact that he's one of their Spanish commentators.
Yeah.
So that already I think shows you how they regard him. Like usually when you see the comments, like they're like the family, you know what I mean? Like those people just are just mainstays now at the Octagon, whether it's in Vegas. Yeah, well, that's your opinion, man. Like, so yeah, I think I'll lean towards the UFC was probably pulling for Brandon, especially because you already have a Brazilian champ in Oliveira. You know, you had a Brazilian champ in Nunez. You don't need 3 in the sport. Two is enough. You know, let's get the Mexican champ and then let's build out.
Over to Sheriff.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about the guy, dude. Well, because I didn't feel like that fight was a standout. Whatever. I don't want to digress, but Yeah, like okay, you don't need that many Brazilian champs, so yeah, a Mexican champ would have been a good thing, I think. And you're right. If that had been the case, for sure Mexico would have been like UFC's next market, man. People usually go to China when they want to expand their reach. Nada, UFC Mexico would have been the thing. You're
I
right.
think that was already being discussed anyway, but regardless, I thought I was hoping at least, given that the trilogy was confirmed, I was just thinking like, please be more like the first fight than the second fight. It was more like the first fight. It was more like the first fight. Obviously, it went to decision, and it was more. It was a closer battle, obviously, than the second one. The second one I thought was just a clear runaway for Brandon, where Deiveson was unrecognizable. For this one, it wasn't as high volume, I think. Or at least it didn't feel as high volume as the first fight, but it felt more of like a chess match. It was still active. I'm not saying it was an inactive fight, but it felt much more calculated approaches. And I think that kind of was carried over by Deiveson because we didn't see like the wild hyena that he has shown that he can fight like. That wasn't the case. Yeah, so here, if we see the numbers here for the first one, look at that, man. Over 130 versus this time only Moreno cracked over just over 100. Um, Still a great fight.
Oh, that first one was a freaking war, dude. That was amazing.
War. Yeah, I agree. Any last notes for you on the co-main?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, robbed maybe is the wrong word, but I think the wrong guy won.
I think you could make a case for that.
Yeah, but definitely. Sorry, Mexico. This shouldn't have gone this way.
All right, who we got next? We have
Who do we have next? Oh my god, this freaking circus animal, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, can we give credit to Fiallo?
Yeah, man.
Steps in short notice against the guy who you can prepare all you want for Pereira. At the same time, I think he doesn't even know what the hell he's gonna do for the fight. But I mean, again, they didn't get the ruling wrong on this fight, but he was hanging in there for a guy against short notice.
Dude, not only was he hanging in there, I think he was winning in the first at least, and you could argue that
scorecards indicate that too.
Well, yeah, and you can argue that he may have been winning in the second. I thought he was potentially winning in the second, and then Pereira is the one that really pulled away in the third. That was obvious. But so what happened, and I don't know if you caught this. What happened was, I want to say it was in the second. Those front leg kicks that Pereira was throwing, one of them caught Fiallo like clean in the stomach, and you saw him just kind of stop and like move back a little bit. And after that happened, the fight the momentum of it completely shifted in favor of Pereira. This fight is actually worth a rewatch too, man. This was a banger, dude. Fiallo was like laser guided munitions, dude. Each strike was just boom, boom, boom on target. Badass.
He did seem to fade a little bit down the stretch.
Oh, he did.
For me.
He faded hard, yeah.
I mean, Pereira, again, he's a freaking lunatic, man. This guy's flying off the cage. He's freaking probably will pole dance if you let him in the octagon during the fight. I don't know how the hell he makes 170. He kind of reminds me of Usman, and where I look at him, I'm like, you're popping out of your body. How the hell are you making weight? But again, cardio too. The guy goes. He'll go the 3 rounds doing stupid shit. Like again, another ill-advised like backflip in the middle of the fight. I'm like, dude, there's no reason for this. But at the same time, at this point, you can expect it from him at least once a fight. It's just a matter of you don't know when the hell it's gonna happen. And then when it happens, you're like, all right, that's probably the one. He met his quota. That's probably it. It's obligated in his UFC contract to throw one stupid shit in there.
I mean, he did get that Superman punch connected clean, man.
That one he has actually kind of nailed. He's gotten that one down. He gets that in there at least once a fight, too. Yeah. I'm not even counting the Superman punch. I'm talking about the flip and the other stuff.
That spinning backflip thing, that's so nuts, dude.
Because it's a quirky style of fighting. Because, again, it's weird to prep for. You can watch him, and watching his tape, all you can say is, okay, he's going to do some random shit like that. I don't know what the random shit's gonna be, and I don't know when it's gonna be. But then, jokes aside, when you look at it, this guy's capable of grappling. He's a good striker. And again, his cardio is good. I don't know if this guy's ever going to be a legitimate threat at 170. He's obviously clearly an entertaining fighter. And just based on kind of what we've seen of him, I feel like he's just going to be that entertaining fighter. Where you see him on the lineup, you can comfortably put him on another pay-per-view main event. He's never going to be a guy where you're going to have headline an event, whether it be a fight night or a pay-per-view. This is in my opinion. You might feel otherwise, but he just doesn't strike me as that guy where he's ever going to go to that next level. And I don't know. I'm trying to think what it is about what I've seen from him that I'm getting this impression. Is a guy that I'm always going to want to see fight because he's, again, for the entertainment level, and he's good. It's not just that he's entertaining. I just don't get the impression from him that he's going to be able to make that leap to a contender status at 170.
You don't think he's going to be able to, or doesn't want to?
No, I don't think it's a want thing. I just don't see him able to, and I can't pinpoint what it is really. Maybe
well, it's because
style. Maybe the style. I feel like
that
unpredictability, I think, will work against a certain style of fighting. But I think once you get into the weeds of the 170, that element of unpredictability, I think, kind of loses its luster. Whereas when you attempt that thing, and if you are unsuccessful in it, like you do one of those spinning whatevers, and you miss against some of those killers at 170, they will make you pay. Whereas against some of the talent level that he's been facing, which I'm not saying are complete bums, but it's obviously not the cream of the crop either, those guys maybe can't make you pay the same way as, for an example, some of the other guys in the top 10 at 170.
You watch your mouth when you talk about Chaos Williams.
And that fight, by the way, I don't know if you remember, that fight sucked ass.
Yeah,
I was so excited about that fight, and then it was just a complete snooze fest. But here, we have it pulled up here. 4 fights in a row. He's got his W's. They've been mostly entertaining fights. It's just that Chaos Williams one was just kind of the weird one there. I like the activity. Now, I can't definitively pinpoint what it is, but I think how I just explained it is the best I can describe why I feel that way.
I don't know. I kind of go the opposite, because if he cleans up his act, if he doesn't have to stop the dramatics entirely, but if he reduces it to, like you were joking around with, maybe one a fight, you throw one stupid move, and it's your signature thing. You have to do it. Okay, fine, you do it. It's his spinning back fist. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is for him. If he can pull back, I think that he has potential to be a threat. He's not a bad fighter.
No.
If he sharpens up a bit, his cardio is there. He can make it into 3 rounds. His freaking chin is there. He doesn't seem to get phased no matter.
Can we scroll up on this? I think he's been finished once only in 38 fights. If you go to the top, all the way at the top.
Yeah, you're right though. I was just looking at the fight.
Oh, okay, yeah. Twice. He's only been finished twice in 38 fights, man. That's nuts.
Well, 1 TKO, 1 sub, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is nuts, dude. Well, and it was, the last time was in 2018. No shit against Todorovic.
I don't even know if Todorovic was fighting back then.
Dushko, they were in a different promotion. What is this?
Oh, okay, there you go.
Serbian Battle Championship.
Probably the now defunct, I would imagine.
I don't know why the Serbian sounds so funny to me. The Serbian
and that's
Battle Championship.
That's Todorovic is stomping around. I believe he's Serbian.
Jesus Christ! It just makes me think of
credit to crap. What was his name? Fiallo. Credit to Fiallo. Short notice. It wasn't. I was telling the guy that was next to me at the bar too. I was like, that's the thing that's a little tricky with these short notice guys that are making their debut. As like a better and as a fighter, you don't know what the hell you're gonna get. You also have a short notice to prep for the guy, so I feel like it's more in favor of the guy stepping in on short notice because there's zero expectation. You're doing the UFC a favor in even stepping in. They don't have to scrap the fight, especially when this card was already bleeding, right? They lost 2 fights the day before. One of them was a fight we were really looking forward to, and I'm sure a lot of people were looking forward to in Topuria and
Jordan.
Yeah. Had they lost Pereira, that would have sucked too, because that was another fight I was initially looking forward to. And then, given that it was this random guy that stepped in, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be now. But he ended up obviously not just holding his ground. He was pretty competitive until he just started getting tired, and maybe short notice was part of that.
I don't think he started getting tired, dude. You could see the minute that he got hit with that one of those front things.
And then he took one to the chunk too after.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So the minute he got hit with that thing in the stomach, you saw his face just completely change. So I don't think it's that he got tired or faded. I think that he got really freaking hurt, dude. Because keep in mind, Pereira kept throwing him too. It wasn't like he stopped. It just kept going to the same spot. I think this is worth a rewatch too, man. You'll see what I'm talking about. It was in the second. There was just a moment. You saw the leg come up, hit him right in the stomach, and he kind of just stops, and the momentum shifted completely. That's just my opinion, man.
Yeah, I mean, very, very great performance by both of them, really, but especially Pereira. Let's see. I'm curious to see where it kind of goes from here for him. I don't know if he gets a ranking. Maybe he does, but I'd like to see a continue step up in competition to see really what are we going to expect from this guy in terms of, is he just going to be the entertaining guy, or is he actually going to make a push to do something? I guess we'll find out. Who did we have before this?
It was so fast, it's hard to remember, bro.
Dude, you know what's funny about this? So the guy next to me, so we were at Buffalo Wild Wings. We missed the first fight. I was watching it in another form on my phone because they were having trouble with DirecTV. They were trying to get in. It wasn't working on the TV. So the first fight on the main, I was watching on my phone. This fight came on right as the fight was going to come on. And then the guy next to me looked down for about 5 seconds or something as the fight was already going on. He looks down for about 5 seconds. I'm watching the fight. And then Saeed just rolls into that freaking darce, or it was technically a guillotine. Okay, it looked like an inverted, like a backwards darce almost. Just rolls into that guillotine like this, and then the fight's done. And I'm watching this happen, and it happens so fluidly. I was just like, "Oh, the fight's done." By the way, and I think the guy didn't even realize I said it because I just kind of said it monotone and with the flow of the fight. And then he looks up and like, "Yeah, the fight's done." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, he just choked him out." Because he as soon as he got the choke, it was done. He's like, "All right, I'm out." Taps out.
What else is there to say, man? I mean, these Dagestanis are nuts, dude. They're nuts.
Yeah. I was telling him, I was like, if you see a guy with a chin strap beard, that's probably it for you.
Well, and it's not like Stamen's a freaking chump, dude. Like,
no, he's not, and he's also a pretty good wrestler.
He got freaking handled, man, and
only the second time he's been finished.
Nuts, dude. He's having a kind of a streak of bad luck there.
To kind of defend him, so he's 19-5-1 now. He was 19-2-1 entering that Jimmy Rivera fight. But he's fighting good fighters, man. Jimmy Rivera is good. I know he's out of the UFC now, but I like him. Merab, who's on an 8-9 fight winning streak, and now Saeed. So it's not that he's not like losing to bums. But you gotta beat who's in front of you in the end, regardless. But goddamn, man, I think it was plus 700 for Saeed to win by submission in the first round, or Saeed to win in the first round, or something like that. Back-to-back first-round finishes. How about, dude, in less than a minute? God damn. And then the other win against Dave, I don't know who Ramos is, but wow, how about that? Look at these finishes. 3 of the last 4 first-round finishes.
So what's the deal with this guy? Why hasn't he fought? Was it COVID related, I think, or?
I'm assuming he's maybe represented by Ali, and those guys' fighters just freaking pull out randomly. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the backstory with Saeed is. It could be. I
heard something about it being like COVID related, but
very well could have been that. Maybe they're having issues getting him in. I don't know.
I mean, because dude, that's a huge. 2021, huh? Well, what is it? That's basically one. Two, is it no
4 months, 5 months?
I think my math is just completely off here. 1.5 years ish, because if it's October,
Yeah, it's about a year and 4 months.
Yeah, that's a while, dude.
Yeah, for
Kind
sure.
of a while, man. But hey, who cares? You come out and you're able to do that.
No ring rust, huh?
Not if you're Dagestani, apparently.
Not applicable.
Yeah, I'm half expecting Khabib to be like, I am out of retirement. Like, just start ragdolling people.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's really nothing else to say about this. I mean, that was just, again, I think just the biggest thing for me to highlight was how smoothly it went from feet to ground to submission to leaving the octagon.
Nuts.
Just like this.
Nuts.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
His just my final comment when they're asking him questions, he's got like 2-line answers. This is my favorite part about the whole thing, dude. He's just like, yes, I did good. Like, get me the hell out of here, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and we had the first fight was Michael. His first name's Michael, right? Michael Morales.
Michael Morales.
Yeah, Michael Morales against Trevin Giles. I was saying this is a fight that I had an interest in. I just didn't know really what to kind of fully discuss about it for our previews. But I did want to keep an eye on this, and for the reason this fight went was why I wanted to, because I know this guy can really be an issue as well at 170, and he proved it. I mean, this was, I believe, Trevin Giles' debut at 170. He dropped down to 185. But I think regardless, even if Trevin had been at 170, I think he would have met the same fate. Maybe not in the same manner, but I think he would have lost anyway. Michael's a legitimate guy.
It's unfortunate, man, because as I was watching, I'm like thinking in my head, I hope this one goes. It doesn't have to go the distance, but I hope we get to see something out of it. Yeah, like, and I don't want to take away from Michael Morales at all. Like, that was fantastic. But damn, I wish we could have seen more out of this fight, because it was looking to be another war.
Yeah, but credit to him, man. Can we just pull up his profile real quick? I want to see something. 14-0? Is that what the number is? 13-0. Okay, look at that, man. 11 out of 13 are finishes. 10 are by knockout. Beautiful. If we go down a little bit more,
22 years old, man. Jesus.
That's the other thing, man. That's the other thing. And I believe they were saying only the second guy to be fighting out of Ecuador, either currently or in general, and obviously first being from Ecuador, I should say. Sorry, first, if I'm not mistaken, is Marlon Moraes. Sorry, not Marlon Moraes. Marlon Vera. So yeah, this was technically his debut. That's where I remember him from. Was from Contender Series not too long ago. Let's see, man. He's young. He's obviously got to be healthy, you would imagine, unless there's something lingering coming in. Let's turn him back around and get him out there as quickly as we can, because that guy looks really good.
I agree 100%, dude.
Okie dokes. That's our main card. A nice main card.
Fantastic main card.
I didn't have that many high hopes for the event overall, but the card I was in the main card I wasn't too enthused about. But it was great. And how about these guys? Huh? Where the hell did this come from? Who the hell? I didn't even know who the hell these guys were. I think I knew Barcelos. Henry initially, when I saw the pictures, I'm like, is this another woman's fight? And then I realized it's a guy. I don't remember seeing Henry ever. Can we just pull his profile up before? Has he fought and I just don't remember? Maybe we were trashed at that point. I don't know. Oh, no, he's making his debut. There we go. Dude, what the hell was this? These guys, from the moment the starting bell rang to the end of the fight, this fight didn't stop. There was, at most, maybe about like 6 inches of space between these guys the entire freaking fight.
That was awesome, dude. That was such a...
I couldn't believe what the hell I was watching.
Well, I can, because remember, we're building momentum up from the early prelims and the earlier in the prelims. So this was like being the cherry on top for me. It was freaking amazing to watch, dude. For a guy debuting, to have that pace, that output, and not fatigue. Like, usually you see guys just start to wear second, third, you know, like they'll start fatiguing, but no, you didn't get that happen, man. Like, this was awesome. This was a fantastic fight, dude. And actually, it was my fight of the night candidate.
At that point, for me, I was like, this is easily fight of the night, right?
And I still kind of think it should have been fight of the night. I don't know if I agree with Moreno and Figueiredo getting that as the award. I think this should have probably
I think
taken
you
fight
could
of
have
the
made a
night.
case for this. I would have liked to have seen both of them. I understand it's fight of the night and not fights of the night, but when it's something like this, I think
Well,
that's one.
they gave two performance of the night bonuses. One to Demopoulos and then one to uh
He sent it to us. Said, I think he said Said, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, it was side.
Which I don't like disagree with, but I mean, I thought the card deserved more than a total of 3 fights earning bonuses.
The entire prelim was ridiculous, dude. Like you could have given them out like candy, and I think it would have been deserved.
Can we go back to the page right before this? Let's just look at those numbers one more time. So this is a 15-minute fight. 134 strikes landed for Barcelos and 181 for Henry. I would imagine that I couldn't hear any audio during this. They were showing the Packers game. I have to imagine this has to be like a top performance for a debut in terms of strikes landed. 181 in 15 minutes? Dude, that's well over 10 a minute. That's freaking nuts.
This was an insane fight, dude. The pace, the output was just ridiculous, and I think Barcelos was kind of stunned at first. Like he didn't expect that this is how it was gonna go. But what I like is that he didn't just sit back and take it. He was like, okay, you know what? I see that this is how it's gonna play. Then I'll play with you, dude. And
There was no chance to breathe during this fight, dude. It was nonstop. I honestly don't remember. I can't name off the top of my head a fight that was this nonstop. There was no break in action. You really couldn't take your eyes off the screen during this fight because it just was going boom, 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 boom the whole freaking time.
Maybe
Crazy.
maybe the Holloway when he came back fight,
Against Yair?
was it against Yair? The
That
one
was
where
his
he
most recent fight.
no, the one where he set the 500 whatever.
Oh, against Cater.
Yeah, maybe
But that was
maybe that
one-sided.
one. Yeah, but it was boom, 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 just to Cater's face.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What was the weight class for this? 145?
Bantam.
Bantam. Jesus Christ, as if that division wasn't stacked enough, man. Every time we do a video, I say that. But it just keeps getting more and more to that point.
Yeah, the guys on the broadcast were saying that it's a deep division. I think that's the word that they used.
For sure.
And yeah, like well, then you get these two.
Again, look at it. For example, Adrian Yanez is in that division. He's not ranked. So that's just one guy. Said also in there, not ranked. So yeah, it just goes to speak. That's one of the most well-rounded in terms of depth divisions that there are in the UFC, in my opinion. Congrats to both guys. They did get robbed though. Neither of them got anything in terms of bonuses.
Yeah, this should have taken fight of the night for sure, man. Or at least it's so weird. Like, why can't you give two? You know, the way Dana
I thought I remember them doing it before. I thought they were
when they were in Abu Dhabi. He would give out like 10.
That was the Princess money.
This is his, and he's like, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay any of you. Maybe there is a case to be made for fighter pay at this point.
Dude, I saw some other guy freaking bitch about it the other day. One of these reporters, or one of these journalists, he said it's something about. I gotta pull up the tweet. Hold on. I'm probably gonna look like a dickhead for what I said though, but I'm gonna pull it up anyway.
Oh my god, man. Yeah. Well, so while you're doing that, for me, it's especially considering who else they gave the award to. I don't think Demopoulos should have gotten a performance of the night. Like, don't get me wrong, that it was awesome what she did, but it wasn't even close when you look at what some of the other fighters on the card were doing. You know, even like Morales, like the way he TKO'd Giles, I think would have possibly deserved it more. It was one little stupid armbar.
I think again,
it's an armbar. Like, why is that a performance of the night thing?
Was it the last event of 2021? I think was where everyone got a bonus. There was like 50 bonuses handed out. One of the more recent events had a bunch of bonuses handed out because it was great. I think it was the last event of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the one prior.
Vegas 46.
No, 45.
45, yeah. Yeah, because we just did 46.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was one of those where there was so many great performances. I thought more could have gone around, but regardless. So the thing I was referring to Guy posts, UFC is getting a lot of heat tonight for these disclosed salaries. I don't know if you saw some of the numbers for. So Francis apparently got 600 grand. These don't include pay-per-view points. Francis got 600 grand. Ciril got 500 grand. Moreno got 200 grand, and Figueiredo got 150. So the guy says, this is a journalist. He's saying UFC is getting a lot of heat tonight for these disclosed salaries, and it's hard to blame people for being upset. All we hear is about the record profits, and then there are numerous fighters on a pay-per-view card making 10 and 10, 10 as in 10 to show, 10 to win. That's not right. It's 2022. The minimum wage should be higher. Shut the fuck up. I just responded, I'm like, shut up. Like, it's just annoying to me. These people, guys like this are the guys that freaking sit on their ass, bitching that they're not making $25 an hour. That's their livable wage. To press the Big Mac button on the freaking register. It's just like, shut the fuck up.
I think
I'm not saying I don't think they should get paid more. Sure, I'm sure there's a case there's guys that can be paid more. But you have to understand from the UFC side, they have, what, 600 plus fighters?
I was going to go on to say that.
They're so disposable. You have to understand that, because imagine if we were aspiring fighters, right? We're really hungry. We're freaking training in the local circuit. If the opportunity came up to the UFC, somehow trickles down to us, like, hey man, short notice, we need someone, we saw your highlight reel, whatever the hell. Somehow we found out about you. Are you down to step in on 5 days notice? We'll give you a 3-fight contract if you don't fuck up the first one. 10 and 10. Are you gonna say no if you're legitimately thinking?
I've done work for free for less.
Exactly.
So if the UFC were to come to me and I wanted that, dude, you bet your ass I'll take whatever amount they're gonna throw at me.
Dude, so it's like, shut the hell up, man. You have to understand that these guys are so disposable, and some of them are not. It's not just disposable for the sake of dollars, but talent-wise, it's almost interchangeable. For example, this Henry guy. Who the hell is this guy? This guy came out of freaking nowhere, puts on a show like. It's not just him. There's so many guys that are good that we have never heard of and that we will never hear of. That they can just grab off the freaking street, throw them in, and then they just put on a great performance. You have to factor that they don't, because these morons live in freaking utopia where everyone should be getting freaking their pocket stuff. It's like, the shit doesn't work that way. Again, I'm not opposed to them getting some more pay, especially if they have grounds to it. But you have to also understand, it's not just they pay for the fighter stuff, dude. They have all these PI shit. They have all these other programs. They have all this other bullshit they pay for. Profit might not even be the right word. They might be doing record revenue. We don't know what the hell their profit is. I know their parent company is public now, but I don't know if the UFC's financials are something you can access currently, because you can have some subsidiary and not see the financials. So we don't really know.
I think you can probably see, like, if Endeavor Group puts out a earnings report, we might be able to see a breakdown there.
But I don't think you have to show all of it. So I don't think the UFC.
Well, and considering how reticent they are in general, then I can't imagine they would show it. But in any case, I also want to tack on to the point that you made about the amount of fighters there are. If you think about it, let's assume all those guys fight once a year. They don't, but let's assume that they do. And then factor in that, what's the minimum payout going to be? Like maybe 20 grand a fight? I don't know. Like
it's 10. The minimum apparently is 10 to show, and if you win, you get another 10. This is excluding bonuses.
So let's just say it's 20, right? Like, it's not going to be. So let's divide that by 2. Let's say 300 fighters, 20, and then you have the higher end guys. So what is that? Maybe another 50 dudes. Let's say 40 dudes. I'm trying to do some really, really rough napkin math. Maybe throw in a few mil there. The money may not necessarily be there to throw around either, is the point that I'm trying to make, basically. So it's not even a question of, it's not only just a question of these guys are interchangeable. They're, the demand is there. But is the pay even something that the UFC can cover? To your point about their revenue looks good, but okay, what does that mean for what's their margin on this? You know what I mean? They can only be taking home, let's say, 5%.
What about the production? No one talks about the cost of production. The UFC does their own production.
Expensive.
It's also
insanely expensive.
Very good production.
Yeah.
We've mentioned this a while ago. You watch whenever you jump right into a sport, like let's say you watch the NBA, you watch the NFL, whatever, any legitimate high-end professional sport, and you only have watched that. You haven't seen anything else. And then you watch anything below that, you don't realize how good you have zero appreciation for the production value until you watch something that isn't that. Case in point, Bellator. I started with UFC. I didn't watch LFA. I didn't watch any other shit. Started with UFC. The first Bellator thing I watched, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Isn't that the one where they had a budget Martinez, and then we were like, I don't know why you don't just grab Martinez for this, bro. We don't want him.
And I'm not saying it's like it was complete ass, but in the stark contrast from how it made me realize, I'm like, holy crap, I didn't notice how crisp the UFC's production was, man.
No, their production is ridiculous. And then, well, if you want to keep going with this, there's also all of the video editing work that gets done, all of the graphic design work that gets done. I don't know if ESPN pays the commentators or not. Well, I think it's I don't know how that relationship breaks down actually.
ESPN obviously takes their cut.
For sure, dude. So to your point again, it's all fine and dandy to say like, well, their revenue is this, their revenue is that, but you don't know what their margin is, and it could be basically sat at near zero.
And again, their profits could be record profits, but it's still as a percentage of revenue, it might not be that indicative. If revenue went up, and that could in theory just mean profits went up in line with the revenue, but as a percentage of revenue, it might not have been that drastic of an improvement, because you have to get rid of your operating expenses too. There's other expenses that go with it. It's not, revenue doesn't go up. Generally speaking, revenue does not exponentially raise with expenses exponentially decreasing.
Yeah.
Shit doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So again, these people are the same guys that are sitting at home complaining that the freaking stimmies stopped. So whatever, I'm not surprised about it. And again, I'm not saying I'm opposed to seeing some increases in fighter pay. Certain people, I'm sure, is warranted. But again, when it's some of these more disposable guys, and you're complaining about the 10 and 10 minimum, they're getting possibly 20 grand for 15 minutes of fighting. In the end, obviously there's training. I'm not discarding the training whatsoever.
Ow.
But in the end, they got 15 minutes. They're getting paid for 15 minutes, and they got $20,000. And take guys like Kevin Holland, for example.
Yeah.
He has said it. He has said, if you fight, if you are active, you can make a nice living. Kevin Holland isn't getting like 200 grand to fight, but he was fighting a lot. He got his checks. You can clear 6 figures a fight possibly with a bonus if you put the performance in, right? Or you can get close to 6 figures again for 15 minutes of work. You can maybe, now again, it's a little bit different for the 10 and 10 guys, but you build your way up. You can, Dana says it all the time. Whoever wants to fight, we will have them fight. So if you're going to be like a Holland or any of these guys that fight 3 to 4 times at least a year, you can easily make a nice nut, man. It's just, again, a matter of perception. When these fighters themselves are complaining, I have $15 in my bank account. Dude, that sucks, but fight more. You can fight more. If you're healthy, you can fight more. Dude, the UFC's not going to turn you away.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing that kind of throws me off is, why don't we see these fighters fight more? A lot of times we'll see guys do the once a year thing, maybe 2 times a year. It's rare that you see Kevin Holland's where they're just active. And I love Kevin Holland, by the way, so you're going to hear me gush about it a little bit, but you can tell he's hungry for it. He wants money. He wants to fight. And now that he's in a position to, it looks like he's sharpening up and maybe thinking, no, you know what? I want the belt. So it's all like a ladder, dude. Like you have to start somewhere. You're not immediately going to start in the middle of the middle rung. You have to start at that 10-10 place. Get a couple fights in. You do, to your point again, you do what Victor Henry just did. You're getting another fight. You do it again, my dude. You're now gonna get paid more. It's just the way things work in life, man. You gotta go up the ladder.
This is unique to the UFC. You start at something, right? You graduate college, you have your degree, your first entry level job. You're not gonna be clearing 300 grand. You start wherever that value is. And then you have to show your worth. You're also disposable in that position too. You're not the only guy that graduated from college with that degree. You have to show your worth. If you show your worth, you can either move up within that company or go to another company, whatever. You continue to move up, and then you build yourself to be indisposable. But to start, for a lot of these guys, you're already disposable. The same way in a regular company, you're disposable. You have to be in that position. I've worked with plenty of people where in the company, they're like, if that guy leaves, that role is screwed. That guy's irreplaceable. You can become that guy. There aren't a lot of that guys, but you can become that person. It's just a matter of, again, if you want to do the work.
And
Sean O'Malley, Kevin Holland, these guys, they're not clearing stupid numbers just on base pay. But you hear Sean O'Malley talk about it. He's like, the UFC has given me a platform to make so much money outside of the UFC.
Yes, exactly.
If you wire yourself, you leverage yourself too. It could be a very mutually beneficial for both parties. It's not just a matter of you as the employee profiting. Why not have a mutually beneficial relationship with your employer too? Your employer is paying you X amount. Show them the value of it. Increase your value so the company's value can increase with it. Look at you think the UFC wants Sean O'Malley to go anywhere?
Hell no.
Kevin Holland, fuck no. Because they're becoming to that point where you're like, yeah, okay, they're not fighting for titles. They might be fighting random no names. I still want to freaking watch the guy.
Sorry, I know we're kind of staying on this subject, so I just want to say one more last thing because the thought again popped into my mind when you were mentioning, like a position at a company. I think people also forget there is no other company. When you look at the sport of MMA, there is no one else.
It's a borderline monopoly. It's them.
It is.
There's other stuff that's not as big.
No, you can't compare. You can't say like there's no like horizontal movement for a fighter. No. If you go to Bellator, you have downgraded and you have downgraded severely. It's not just like a now he's fighting.
Make decent money if you're one of the big
I'm not talking money wise. I'm talking in terms of quality, in terms of prestige. Like if you're
I agree.
You cannot do it. So once you're in the UFC, that's it. There's nowhere else to go. So I think people forget that too. They may be confused about thinking, oh well, you could just go fight at Bellator. You could fight. No, you can't. If you're a UFC fighter, there is no more anywhere else, dude. You're there or you're done fighting. That's it.
Yeah. You don't hear people saying, dude, I can't wait to get into I'm aspiring to be a Bellator fighter.
Yeah, or an LFA fighter. Like I got the hat here. They put on some good fights, man, but it's a stepping stone to the UFC.
Exactly.
There is no competitor for the UFC.
The last thing I'm going to say, you look at some of the guys, look at the Contender Series guys, right? When they get that contract, the elation on their face, the emotion. Case in point, those guys are so thrilled for that opportunity. There's no gun to their head to freaking be there. No one's forcing them to be there. They're so ecstatic that they got that opportunity. I don't know if you saw the most recent looking for a fight that Dana White did. They went to Denver to see some guy he won on the Contender Series, but he didn't win decisively enough for Dana to give him a contract or something. Dana didn't give him a contract, but Dana told him, look, I'm going to be going to Denver for the series. Fight one more time. I'll come to your fight. If I like what I see, I'll give you the fight. He fought last week. I forget his name. He was the guy with the mustache, the guy that lost to Jamie Pickett.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
So that guy, but look at him, right? Like someone like that was like, dude, I want to be at the UFC. A lot of these guys, that's the thing. You have to understand that. Okay, so that's the last thing I think
we digressed.
Yeah, big time. Speaking of freaking Contender Series, guys, I keep mixing up this guy.
Della Maddalena.
Yeah, I keep want to say Magdalena. It's too similar. Della Maddalena. This guy, I believe, is technically his UFC debut after winning on the Contender Series. This was a guy I wanted to watch because he's scary. 11 fights, 10 wins by finish. How can we expand the see all? How many wins in a row was that for him? A lot.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, a lot.
Loses his first two and then just wins after that. I remember they were hammering that narrative during the Contender Series. But look at that, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of his last 11 wins are by finish. So he wins by decision on the Contender Series, but then makes his debut with an emphatic finish. Emphatic.
And so we come back to the whole thing about the awards. Like, I don't understand. How did this not get an award either? You know, it wasn't like Saeed where it was just like a quick one move thing. But I don't think like Dana's given awards out for other stuff too. You know. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like maybe Dana wasn't in charge at all. Maybe it really was just that third dude.
Nick Maynard.
Whatever his name
is. It's not, I don't think it's just Dana that makes all of these calls. I think people forget there's a committee. It's just Dana's the face of the committee. He's obviously the president. So
I think you're wrong. All of the guys who go Dana 50K would disagree with you.
I don't know, but I mean, big credit to him. What weight class were we talking about here for him? He's one. Is he lightweight?
Welter, 170.
Jesus, all right, yeah. No, there's another threat there. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of. I was telling Pusta. He reminds me of that South African fighter. I can't remember his damn name. Huh?
Baze?
No. Poor guy.
Oh yeah.
Duplessis.
Oh, Duplessis. Yeah. Let's see.
I don't know what it was about him. I don't mean like facially. There's something about I think the way they fight that reminded me of each other. Yeah, not this guy. I think there's a space. It's do space and then the last name. There we go. I don't know what it is about him. I think it's the power that reminds me of him. There's something. I just can't pinpoint what it was. But when I saw Madalena fight that first time, I remember like, dude, this guy reminds me of him. And I don't remember what it was, but there's something about it. I think they're both southpaws. Can we confirm that if we go to bio? I don't know if they'll have that for him. Okay, so he's switch. Can we check for? I think Madalena was fighting out of southpaw, right?
Switch
as well. Maybe there's something. I think stylistically, the way they fight, they obviously have the power. There's something about both those guys that reminds me of each other. But again, like we said about Morales, quick finish, get him healthy. I mean, if he's healthy, whatever, just freaking give him a shower, turn him around, throw him back in there as soon as you can.
Absolutely, because I want to see more of this guy, dude. That was freaking wild. And yeah, maybe another one that I may have wanted to see go a little bit longer. I don't know what Rodriguez would have been able to do.
Short notice guy again, I believe, for Rodriguez.
And also another debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, not the original opponent.
Yeah, so this was sorry, man. Like that sucks, dude. If it's your debut,
tough guy to make your debut against, man.
Yeah, man. Like, so turn them both around, dude. For sure, I got my eyes on Madalena. That was ridiculous, dude. And I didn't know that he had that kind of a win streak.
Yeah, dude, the guy's pretty impressive.
Let's go back to this, just to show everybody one more time. Jesus, dude. That's one of those no joke, like, no, dude, my record is not padded, guys. Like,
because again, these are finishes.
Yeah.
It's not freaking cruising your way to victory via decision. Okay. Congratulations, Madalena. Let's see you later. And then we had Tech 9 against which Oliveira was this?
This is
like
Simon. I mean, Tech 9, his last fight got absolutely not robbed as in terms of a decision, but he was freaking cruising his way to victory, and then he just got freaking put to sleep. That was bizarre. But a good comeback, I guess you could say, from that after a pretty tough way to lose after being pretty dominant and then just to get wiped out. Dude, 11 freaking takedowns? It was nuts. It was nuts. And so on top of the takedowns, what I found fascinating is every time Gravely would basically take Oliveira down, Oliveira would go for that guillotine choke. And I'm like, it was the whole time, and I'm like, are you just not gonna give this up, dude? No, I want this guillotine. I want this. You're not getting the guillotine, man. Like,
which round was it though? Was it the first round where it looked legitimately tight?
Because it was the
Rogan
first.
Sometimes just loves to freaking bust over any kind of possible ending. It's like, dude, chill out, man. He hasn't even clasped his freaking hands yet. These guys are already jumping the gun. Oh, he's gonna tap. Dude, chill. They're not even touching each other yet.
It was in the first.
It did look really freaking tight. I think it was the first round, and he had it for quite a bit. So kudos to Gravely for not tapping. But then all the subsequent ones after that, none of them were nearly that same level of threat. So I wasn't as concerned. And he had that first one for a while, and he used both arms. That shit tires out your arms, dude.
Well, and so that's kind of what the point that I'm trying to make is, like, he didn't stop doing it even into the third. I'm like, how are you not exhausted at this point?
I don't know if you saw like no other pathway to victory or what it was, but freaking 11 minutes of control time, 11 takedowns.
And look, onto Gravely's, like, American Top Team is just so ridiculous, dude. Like, most of the guys that come out of there are just nuts, dude. So,
dude, they're like a freaking McDonald's. They have like a bajillion locations.
Well, and
I mean, they're back. It's interesting scenario there.
Yeah, I don't know, dude, but Jesus. Like, this was good performance from Gravely, man. The
I
takedowns
like
were
Gravely.
nuts.
Nice. I like seeing him fight.
Or, sorry, Tech 9. My
Yeah,
bad.
Tech 9. Sorry. Uh, nice. Okay, who we got next?
Banger.
Matt Frivola and
Banger.
which Valdez? Holy shit, man! Freaking 60 strikes landed in freaking 3 minutes
Gennaro?
15 seconds.
Gennaro?
This was
Gennaro?
just freaking rock'em sock'em robots from the get go, and I think it was Mike Beltran was the ref. Dude, he gave Valdez so many chances.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, dude.
And I think to an extent, I didn't mind how he officiated that fight because he was showing enough. Like some of those shots that he took, I'm like, oh, he's dead. And then he would kind of start working his way back. I'm like, all right, shit, I guess I can see why he's letting him go. And then he would get knocked down again. I'm like, oh, he's dead again. And then he would just start coming back. I'm like, holy crap, this guy's a freaking zombie. What was it? Was it 5 knockdowns? How many was it? 4? I thought there was 5. He just kept coming back up.
There it is. Hey, is that new? They didn't have that before.
What?
The KD stat.
No, they've had it.
Really? This is the first time I'm noticing it.
Yeah. I thought there was 5, but 4 for sure, yeah. I don't think that much of Frivola, but that was a pretty... Like, if you have, like, a better quality opponent, that kind of reckless swinging isn't always going to work out for you. But he also did have Valdez hurt from the get-go, like, with the first knockdown. He landed some strong shots on him.
Well, I don't know if you could call it reckless because my percentage game is a little off, but I think that's about 60% accuracy on significant
Well, I mean,
strikes.
he was landing, but he was just kind of like throwing caution to the wind.
Well, I mean, I think he got him when he clipped him that first time. He realized, and then why have caution at that point? You know, you just got to capitalize. Like, if it'd be different if Valdez was swinging back, but if you look at the strikes here, like, there was no threat anymore. I think once he clipped him good, he realized this guy's about to die, as you were alluding to. So then just dump the gas tank at that point, man.
Yeah, I think he was saying with Joe Rogan after the Octagon interview, was like, you know, I'm trying to be a little more technical, and then Joe's like, you're a wild man with natural instincts or something like that.
Freaking Joe, bro.
Just shut down that whole technical thing real quick.
So this one I would have liked to have seen go a little bit longer too. I think
Valdez would have legitimately died if it did.
Well, yeah, no. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I wish the KO could have happened in maybe, let's say, like the second.
Yeah. I get you.
I would have liked to have seen them trade a little bit more just to see, like, what can Valdez do. Because now I have no idea, and I'm kind of like, well, because we know what Frivola can do. We've seen him fight.
Valdez? I mean, it's not the most unique last name, so I don't know.
Man, a lot of guys doing their debuts on this card.
Yeah, and pretty successfully, at least entertainingly, I should say. If not by outcome, but it was entertaining regardless. Okay, that was Frivola, and then Demopoulos we kind of talked about already, but it went from freaking is Demopoulos about to get finished with a huge overhand right? I believe it was an overhand right from Gomez Juarez to freaking Demopoulos just catches that armbar. I think she caught that armbar the way she catches those stripper pulls. Just caught it and freaking made her tap really quickly.
Yeah, no, the armbar itself was beautiful, but what I also thought was beautiful was the way she managed to change the control on the ground to be able to get that armbar. So it wasn't just that she slipped into it; she worked to get it there, and that was also really interesting to watch.
I know I jokingly said that, but she has said, like, she credits pole dancing for her jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, I had no idea that was the thing, man.
Well, she was a stripper.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around here in Scottsdale, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
For 13 years. She even wrote like a book on like how to be a stripper or something. Like how to be a successful stripper or whatever. She only, like, recently, she was saying like about a month and a half, 2 months ago, she like quit and like fully committed to MMA.
That's a freaking interesting stat. I don't know what that means.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she
how does a
that arm like it was a pole?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, so what does the pole bring to this? Like, is it...
I guess the ground game. You know, you lock your legs like this. You're hanging around. The movement, the swimming around on the ball.
Someone should ship one over to Francis Ngannou so he can stay sharp, dude.
Yeah, good luck finding a pole that can hold his legs.
Oh my god, man. And yeah, I don't know. This was good. I don't think it was performance of the night though, especially after talking about, like some of the other stuff that happened.
Because again, it's not to take away from it, because it was a nice recovery, and then to actually get it. I'm not trying to take away from it, but just on this card as a whole, there was so many good ones.
Yeah, well, just right off the bat, like if we go really quickly, okay, I could have said maybe Frivola, for sure, Madalena, for sure, Henry,
you could have made a case, yeah. I mean, that one fight at night too, yeah.
For sure, dude. Morales could have easily. Saeed did get one, so that's good on him. This one, maybe not so much.
And we already got fight
this one really not so much either, and this one not so much either. But there you go.
So you don't necessarily have to have taken away from her, but I think you could have given it to at least 2 more people.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, I think so too, dude. And I just want to say one last thing. I was impressed with Gomez Juarez in certain regards.
Yeah.
Man.
I was gonna say I don't think you give a shit about the fighting. Fighting a
yeah. This was just a garbage fight. I don't care.
I was watching the football game, so I don't know.
There's nothing to say. This was bad. This was really bad. It's kind of sloppy, and this wasn't good. It actually scared me because when I saw this, I was
shit. This card's gonna be ass.
yeah. It kind of scared me, dude. So thanks to these girls for giving us that palate cleanser, man. Yeah. I have nothing else to say about this. That's all I have for you.
That's 270, man. 270, again, like I said from the top, very happy that I was wrong about it. I wasn't really looking forward to it. Like I said, I was unwilling to even pay for the pay-per-view. That's why I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, just to get myself an appetizer and just pay for the appetizer and not have to pay for the pay-per-view. But very happy to say I was wrong about it. Hopefully we see Francis again. I don't know if we will. But I forgot if I asked, do you think we see Francis again in the UFC?
I think you do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think
hopefully they can reconcile. I don't know if they will. I'm happy to be wrong about that as well. Kind of good. I think Cirly got his first loss. I was actually telling the guy next to me, I know we were kind of jumping back to this. I just want to wrap it up real quick with it. Excluding this last fight, in his 7 UFC fights, we really never saw Cirly tested. We never really saw him in any danger during any of his fights because he's very controlling, because since he's such a unique heavyweight, he ends up luring you to fight his style. He doesn't adjust his style to anyone else. Like we said, he kind of is like I'm not trying to say this insultingly, but in a way like a point fighter, that very measured. He won't just jump on you for the sake of jumping on you. If he has the opportunity, he will, but otherwise he'll bide his time. And for that reason, we haven't seen him challenge. Even though he's fought Volkov, he's fought Lewis, he's fought guys that aren't ass. But even then, he's kind of lulled them into his style. So this was the first time where, again, it was looking good the first 2 rounds in my eyes. And then he just ended up kind of getting overpowered the last 3. So I think it's good, though. Again, 7 fights in just over 2 years, very active. Well, sorry, now 8 fights in just over 2 years. He's been super active. I think it's good for him to get this first taste of defeat. I did feel bad for him because he's like a gentle giant. You could even see during the press conferences, there was some stuff Francis was saying with no malice, but like it seemed like Cirly was kind of taking it to heart. Like when he made like the teammate comment saying we weren't really teammates, right? It seemed like Cirly kind of got offended by that. So I felt bad. I don't feel, they're fighters. I don't really feel bad when they lose, but like whenever you can kind of see like the actual human element where they're like, oh man, that stung. So I felt a little bit bad for him, but I have no doubt the guy can comfortably bounce back. So I think it was good that he got this taste of defeat, especially against Francis too. Hopefully there's I think he'll be fine.
I just want to expand on that a little bit. I think it's good for Gane as well, because you could see that he was thrown off a little bit. He didn't expect that Ngannou wasn't going to allow him to play that point game. And I mean, shit, to Ngannou's credit, he actually started playing a point game, which was just weird to observe. But this is a good loss for Gane. Something else I want to point out, this is a good loss for other guys in the division that are looking to go after the belt, because you just showed that Gane is weak, or Gane is vulnerable. Yes, he's vulnerable to Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, but who else can do that to him
So
outside of Stephen?
that's what I'm gonna go
Yeah,
on to
okay.
say. So, but you do have a blueprint now. Whereas before, you didn't have tape. You didn't have
Yeah,
anything you could look at and be like, okay,
yeah, that's
well,
true.
maybe I can make this adjustment. Maybe I could do that. Now you do. Now you know what you could potentially do to mitigate Gane's strategy. So that's kind of interesting. It is going. I think it is going to come into play the next time Gane fights. So it it's a tough loss for him in the sense that people now kind of have an idea of what they could do against you. Um, but I think the loss itself is good in that I didn't. I agree. I didn't want to see him become one of those guys with like a super inflated ego either. Like I think that
I
stay
didn't
home.
get that. I don't get that impression from him, but I get what you're. I see what you're going towards. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like him personally. I like him.
Yeah.
I think that he's a good guy, man. Like, and I would want to see him eventually become the champ. Um, I just want him to be like humble.
Yeah.
Don't be a newsman. Don't be a Marty Snoozman.
Yeah. Sorry, I have one last thing about 270s about this fight. I forgot to mention during it. Do you think the couple of leg locks that Cyril was going for? Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think that was a miscalculation in approach in that moment? Because we've seen Cyril win by leg lock before. So when he grabbed it, I was like, holy shit, is he going to be able to replicate it? Because outside of this fight, how many times do we see fighters go for that ankle lock, leg lock unsuccessfully? It's so hard to get that thing down, to actually finish by that. But do you think that was a miscalculation in approach at that moment, or do you think that was the best thing he could have done? Should he have gone with that? Should he have just gotten back up on his feet? Should he have tried to go something? Because after he unsuccessfully went for that leg lock, Francis ended up on top, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't think it would have made a difference because yeah, I don't think it would have made a difference because if Francis wanted him on the ground, Francis was putting him on the ground.
He could have gotten up though, I think. If you just
He could have
abandoned the
got
leg lock and just gotten up.
sure, but he wasn't doing anything there either. So what was he gonna do? He was then gonna get pushed up against the cage. So I don't know. I actually completely disagree with what some people were saying. I think that if he could have, if there was a shot for him to sub Ngannou, he needed to take it, and that was a clean shot. Um, I actually thought that he was gonna get it in because it looked like it was in at one point.
The second one looked like when they got the first one, they were kind of more closer to each other, and then the second one they were more apart because at that point it was kind of like if this is their legs. Like the first one was kind of like this, but the second one was extended out. I was like, oh shit, does he actually have it here? That second one, I was wondering. I'm like, oh man, do we see it? But then he didn't have it. Like I said, even with the leg locks, so when you're looking at it, you're like, I can't tell is it happening or not.
Yeah, well, so just to summarize again, like I think that he saw an opportunity to sub him, and he went for it. Like I don't think there would have been any other opportunity. Like if you had let that chance slip by, then that chance was gone, and you weren't gonna get it back. And again, what else was he gonna do? Every time they got up on their feet, he was either squeezed up against the cage or he was thrown violently onto the floor. So
Well, congratulations to the incumbent again, the reigning Francis. Again, like we said, hopefully we see him again. I don't know if we will. Congratulations to Deiveson for regathering the title. You could argue whether he should have or shouldn't, but he did in the end. And to the rest, again, great card overall. Who do we have to look forward to next? I think it's going to be Jack Hermanson and
Sean
Sean Strickland, I believe, is the next
Strickland,
event. Yeah,
freaking
February
murder.
5th. So this is what we have to look forward to next. We'll get our previews out for it leading up to it. That should be a fun one.
I'm annoyed that they're making us wait a week.
Yeah, we waited 4 weeks to have back-to-back events, and then we have a week off. I don't know why it ended up like that, but there is Bellator next Saturday, so we have that too. I might
Oh,
actually go. It's in
nice.
Phoenix, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll
You
go.
should, man. You should.
I
Like,
might. It's not. It wasn't even that expensive.
I would say go, and if you can, maybe grab like tickets in the front because when I went to
Yeah, that's what
that,
I'm saying. The front wasn't that expensive.
it's totally worth it, dude.
Like
Like,
middle section of the front, like the bottom most, it was like $100.
oh, jump on it.
Yeah, I might grab it.
It's worth it, man. Trust.
Yeah, I might go. Okay, then. Well, until then, we'll keep our eyes out for any news. Keep your eyes out for any shorts that we might put out. Any dumb stuff we might commentate on. We might throw out some fantasy matchups, or try not to be too fantasies. Like try to be realistic fantasies, we should say. But yeah, until our previews, until those, we will see you guys then.
All right. Give me a second.
Dude, this was being weird. I was trying to see how many people we had showing how, like, if there was anyone